Hey everybody, welcome to 10 Talks. So glad you guys are here. And hey, I gotta tell you something. I snuck something into work today, but don't tell anybody. In this box, I have something amazing. All right, you're gonna wanna know what this is. In this box, I have the most powerful weapon in the world. Yeah, I got it. Right here in the box. You might be thinking to yourself, what is it, Pastor Mark? Is it a gun? Is it a Scud missile? What is it? Is it dynamite? You can keep thinking, you can keep guessing, but I bet you'll never guess what's in there. Do you want to see it? Are you sure? All right. In this box, I have the most powerful weapon in the world, and it is a tongue. Yeah, the tongue, the most powerful weapon in the world. Woo! Yeah! Pretty gory, huh? Pretty weird, but it's true. Our tongues are the most powerful weapons in the world. I'm going to place this right here so you can get a good look at it while I go and sanitize my hands really quick. Isn't that a big tongue? Now, that's not a tongue from a human, just so you're wondering, because first of all, I wouldn't be walking around with a tongue from a human, but it's a cow tongue, a beef tongue, and it's just there to represent our tongues. So, tongues are really popular, right? Because everyone's got one. We've got fat tongues, we've got skinny tongues, we've got round tongues, we have tongues that can do amazing tricks. Some people can curl them in circles and flip them around. Some people, even now as part of their hygiene, scrape their tongues so that they won't have bad breath. And you know what? The Bible actually has a lot to say about our tongues and how we use them. And so let's read together. It's in James chapter 3, 3-8, and it says this: "We put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us. We can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they're steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by such a small spark. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body and sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and it itself is set on fire by hell. All kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and sea creatures are being tamed and have been tamed by mankind, but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison." Wow! Could you ever imagine that your tongue was that powerful? And it really is. James uses 3 metaphors to describe the power of the tongue. He talked about putting bits into the mouths of horses. A bit is a thing that goes inside the horse's mouth, like, and they bite on it, and you can turn the whole horse left or right. Well, how powerful is a horse? And this little bit that goes in its mouth can turn the whole thing. Right? It's like my brother when I was younger. I'd lay on the couch. He'd come home. He's an older brother, and he'd want me to get out of the couch so he could lie down. He would grab my big toe, a small part of my body. He would say, "Get out of the couch, Mark." I'd say, "No." He'd turn it a little harder, and he's like, "Get out of the couch, Mark." I'd say, "No." Well, eventually he would turn it enough that my whole body would hurt. I would just roll right out of the couch, and he would jump in just by twisting a small part of my body, the toe. Or what about the rudder of a large ship? You probably know the story of the Titanic. April 15th, 1912, it sank. A huge ship, it was an unsinkable ship, hit the iceberg. It was a huge ship, but it only had a small rudder, and you know what? It couldn't turn in time to miss the iceberg. But think about this, though. Even though it was such a small rudder and it hit the iceberg, just think of the largeness of the ship. And if they do want to steer a ship, what do they use? It's a very, very small piece of metal that turns an entirely huge ship, like aircraft carriers or cruise ships or the Titanic. And you know what? When we are fast and loose with our words, we're kind of like the Titanic in that way. And it's hard for us, and we get ourselves into trouble with this little small piece of our bodies, our tongues. What about a spark that sets out a forest fire? Well, I don't know if you remember this, a long time ago actually, it was like 2015, the Kelowna fires were started by a small cigarette butt. And it took out at least 244 homes. They were destroyed and covered almost 2,002 square kilometers in the Okanagan. This huge fire was started by just one person being careless with a cigarette butt. A small thing. And that the smallest of words can cause massive damage. They can be devastating, cause devastating pain and hurt, and can sway a person's thoughts and feelings or direction, their self-confidence, and ultimately can destroy their view of themselves. Words can really hurt us. You see, wars are not started with weapons. They're started with our tongues. They're started with words. You see, the tongue, it's not like a boxing match. I like boxing. I like watching boxing. And you have two people standing toe-to-toe, and they're boxing. But words aren't like that. Words are like archery, a bow and arrow. You shoot it from a distance. You can barely hear it. It soars through the air, and it can hit their opponent from a long way out and cause devastating damage. And that is what our words do. They're like a bow and arrow. The Bible says also in Matthew that for the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. What we have inside us actually comes out in how we talk and what we say. He also says in another place in Matthew 15:11, what goes into someone's mouth does not defile them, but it's what comes out of their mouth that defiles the person. Why are our words so devastating? It's because they're toothpaste and pillows. That's why words are so devastating. They're toothpaste and pillows. You ever try and squeeze all the toothpaste out of a tube and then try and refill the toothpaste tube with what comes out? You can't do it. You can't do it. It's really hard. And that's like our words. They go out and we can't retrieve them anymore. It's like toothpaste. Out of the tube, it's done. You can't recall them. And it's also like a pillow. Now, I'm not talking about these foam pillows and things, but I'm talking about a real down pillow full of feathers. If you ever go into a windstorm and open up the pillow and let those feathers go, and then try and collect the feathers after, well, it's impossible. Your words can go out so far and so vast and so numerous that you can never get them back. And when I talk about words, I'm not only talking about the words that we speak. I'm also really referring to also the words that we type, the words that we write, the words that we message. Words that we use can hurt people. Remember what James says, no person can tame the tongue. It's a restless evil full of deadly poison. So you might be thinking to yourself, man, it's impossible to tame this wild beast of a tongue that I have. I've been trying, but I can't do it. I want to speak better. I want to stop swearing. I want to be kind to others, but it's just hard. You know what? I understand that fully well. When I was young, there was a time in my life where I swore a lot. I thought it was really cool. I played football. I was a captain of the football team and all those things, and I thought it went kind of hand in hand with being cool. And I thought I could keep it on the football field, but eventually, you know what? It actually moved into every area of my life. I was sitting in my parents' car and they were driving us. All of a sudden I was talking and I said a swear word. I remember the car stops, pulls over, and everybody looks back at me like, what? And I was like, oh man, that snuck out. I didn't mean to say that in front of my parents. Or even at church events with my youth group friends, I would be talking and all of a sudden a curse word would come out and my friends would all say, what's going on? That I couldn't keep that peace only on the football field. It started moving into my entire life. And eventually I was 16 years old, and I remember the day I was driving and I got into an accident. And I remember I got victory over swearing because I had been working on it for a while. And I got in an accident, and the first thing that I did when I stopped the car, I said, thank you, God, that I'm okay, and I prayed for the people in the other car. Up to that point, my first reaction would have been beep words. You know what I mean? Would have been a lot of other things. But in that moment, in crisis, when I was scared, when I was shocked, I didn't swear. I actually prayed and gave thanks to God. And that was a big victory for me. And let me help you. There's 3 things that I did and that you can do to help you, and that's this. Number 1 is ask Jesus to help you. He cares about the words you say and how we use our tongues. Jesus wants you to speak sweetly, and His Spirit lives within you, and it will help you. So ask for forgiveness from your past destructive discourses and start with a clean slate. Secondly, ask others for help. We all need accountability and other people to help us. So ask your friends to help you, or maybe your youth leaders, or maybe even a family member. I know one person that I know that they wanted to stop swearing. They told their friends and said, when I swear, I'm going to pay you $1 every time. And so the other friend says, sure. So every time that they would swear or say things that they shouldn't say, they would call him on it, and they'd have to pay them a loonie. Hey, that's a fun way. No one likes to lose money, and your friends want to gain money, so they're going to help you. And it helps keep you accountable. And the third thing is, use words like they're expensive. Give your words value, because they have great value. They are weighty. They're strong. They have meaning. Don't just use words for filler, but see words for how valuable and powerful they are. Use your words to heal and not to hurt. God bless you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time for 10 Talks.